Well, happy Friday to everybody. You've only got a few weeks until school is out, so only a little bit left before summer is here, and only a little bit left before camp is here is on my mind as we get ready for that. But I'm glad you're watching today. I hope this will be an encouragement to you. Well, obviously, if you've forgotten, then this is a good reminder, but Mother's Day is in 2 days. It's this coming Sunday. And as I begin to think about mothers, obviously my life has changed a little bit now that I've got my wife and she's a mother to my kids, but I've also got my mom as well. And as I think back about the previous Mother's Days, and I think about how my mom has acted and how I watched her as I grew up and how I watched my wife now take care of my kids, there was an illustration that came to mind that an author, Max Lucado, had used that really has stuck with me over the years. It was called Please Come Back, or at least what I remember of it. I've seen hundreds of variations of it on the internet, but the one that I remember is about a girl named Christina, and all the other illustrations, her name has changed, but the one I heard was her name was Christina. She lived in Brazil. She was a beautiful girl. I mean, she was just drop dead gorgeous. But the one thing that everybody said stood out about her was her eyes, that her eyes were beautiful. They're the type that when you looked into them, you could almost get lost. That's how beautiful they were. And her mom kept telling her she was beautiful and all these things. But as she lived in Brazil, she could look over and see the nightlife and the celebrations and the parties and all those things of Rio. As she looked over top of the crest of the hill, she could see all the spotlights and all the blue lights and everything else that looked like it was a lot of fun. And so she kept asking her mom if she could go, and her mom kept saying no. Well, finally one night, Christina, I believe in the illustrations when she turned 18, decided that she was now old enough to make her own decisions, and so she ran out of the house in the middle of the night and she moved to Rio. Her mom, the next day, coming and finding that her bed was empty, took the next bus that she could get to Rio. And what she did was she went to the local photo shop and she had little pictures of herself printed up. And she put them all over the town. She put them everywhere. She put them all over the bathroom mirrors, all those different things, in hopes that one day her child would find a picture. Well, as the story goes, Christina was coming down the stairs out of her hotel where she was staying, and it was years afterwards, and she felt so disgusted with herself. She felt terrible. She didn't look the same. Her eyes were even sunken in from all the partying and the lifestyle and the wickedness that she was involved in, that she knew was wickedness, had caused such a reaction on her face and on her demeanor that she was not as beautiful as she once was because of all this sin. As she walked down the stairs of the hotel room, she felt like it was worthless. In fact, in the illustration, she was contemplating suicide because she felt so disgusted with herself and missed her home, but she thought there's no way that her mom would take her back, her family would take her back. As she walked down the stairs, she looked to the right, and there in the lobby, on one of the lobby picture frames, was an old picture that was starting to fall off the lobby mirror, and it was a familiar face. And Christina ran over to the mirror, grabbed the picture off of the frame, and it was her mother. It was one of the pictures her mother had put there a year or two ago. As she turned the picture over, the back side of it had a little inscription from her mom, and what it said was, "Whatever you've done, whatever you've become, it doesn't matter. Please come home." Whatever you've done, whatever you've become, it doesn't matter. Please come home. Mother's Day is special for all of us. All of us have a mother, and sometimes there are situations in life which make it difficult, but all of us love our mothers, and our mothers love us. And so I think the reason that this story is so gripping is because ingrained into us when we're created is a desire for an all-fulfilling love, a love that only comes through the love of Jesus Christ on dying on the cross for our sins. And when we accept Him, that love fills us. But the closest thing we can get to that heavenly love on earth is a mother's love. Why is it so powerful? when you see a picture of a mom covering her son. In fact, I just saw one today, a picture of a mom covering her son in a war zone, taking the rocket blast for her son to make sure her son lives. Why is it so special when we hear stories about moms getting caught in blizzards and taking all of their clothes off and wrapping the child in it, holding it to their stomach and curling up to the point that they freeze to death but the baby is safe? Why is that so powerful and so emotionally gripping to us? I gotta tell you, I think it's because we have a hole, if I can say it this way, a hole that only love can fill. And it's only Christ's love that can fill it, but the closest thing that we can ever hope to see in this life that's heavenly love outside of Jesus Christ is the love of a mother for her child. If you think back to all the times, whether you're an adult or whether you're a child, if you think back to how much your mother has done for you, it becomes obvious why Ephesians 6 will tell you to honor and to obey your parents. Not just one or the other, but to honor and obey your parents. My challenge to you this week, teenager, is this. For the next 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, make a decision in your mind. Make an absolute this will happen in your mind, that you will honor and obey your mom and dad. Because this Mother's Day, you want to make your mom know that you love her with the love that she loves you with. Have a good week.